Sure, you can call Ron Van Dam grumpy, but he prefers irascible, cantankerous, curmudgeonly. You know, sort of Grumpy's fancier dressed-up cousins. You are listening to the irresistibly irascible Ron Van Dam on New England Broadcasting.
Ron Van Dam is an experienced talk show host. Do not attempt to try this at home.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
What do you want now?
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. How you doing? Sit down and be quiet. I'm going to talk for 30 minutes. It's going to be wonderful. I am irascible. Thank you so much. I am a grumpy bastard. I mean, seriously, right? Okay, that's enough. Hey. All right. Lord. Come a little bit closer to the speaker. Come on. Come on, let's get intimate. There you go. Come a little bit closer to the speaker. Come on, come on. Oh yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't like to get too political too often, but every once in a while it starts oozing from my pores. And today it is. I'm just going to pose some questions. That's all I'm going to do. I'm a curious kind of guy. I'm just posing some questions, so hang on. Here goes my posing. Interesting to me. And I follow the news and I follow the patterns. Interesting to me. What's the president's name again? Holy crap, I can't remember his name. Don? I don't remember the last name. Anyway, the president, it's interesting. When he says publicly through his little posts that go on all night, his posts and his announcements to the public, this Don guy, when he says we're coming really, really close to an agreement with Iran, whatever, we're going to open up the strait, we're coming really, really close to an agreement. It's interesting because the stock market all of a sudden becomes very vibrantly positive. The stocks go up, the Dow, the S&P, all those things. The NASDAQ, which stands for something, I don't know. All of a sudden, magically, like in the magical kingdom, all of a sudden, the stocks go up and people make a lot of money. Interesting. On the flip side, whenever the president says, look, we're going to bomb you, I'm going to obliterate you, and this is not going to end, and the gas prices go up, and all that, all of a sudden the stock market goes down. And people lose money unless they got out of that and prepare to go back into it when they're down and then rise because he made a positive announcement. That sounds a little bit like manipulation of the stock market. And who makes money in the stock market? Those that have a tremendous amount of money in it, because the more money you have in it, the more you can make. If you put just $100 on a stock and the stock goes up, you might make $7. Big freaking deal. But if you've got a couple of 100,000 or $1 million in it, you can stand to make a lot of money. Because 10% of $1 million is a lot more than 10% of 100. I wasn't great in school, but I got that part of the math. Why does nobody look into this? And who are the people that are making all this money? It could be the friends and money-holding acquaintances of this Don guy, Donald's rich friends whom support him because this is the game that they want to play because they're making zillions of dollars. Who's not making zillions of dollars? Us. You. We're losing. We're spending more money, but the money ain't coming in to spend. Something's not right. Something smells. Come here. Smell this. That doesn't smell right. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Wait a minute. Was that the idea of all of this? It's called capitalism. Oh, okay then. I guess that's fine. It smells rotten to me. And on the surface, it looks entirely wrong. And you know this is the way it's going right now. The American public shouldn't necessarily be pissed, but they should be pissed. The other thing that kind of doesn't make any sense right now is this these Epstein files, or Epstein, depending on where you come from. They still haven't been released, and the Congress asked for them all to be released and basically unredacted, and that was the order from Congress, which apparently doesn't mean shit anymore. And they were released very slowly, and what was released you couldn't even read because there was blackout of stuff all over the papers. And yet, it's the Department of Justice that didn't comply with the Congress. And it's just left like that. It just got left like that. We still don't know what's going on. They hauled into Congress, into all these sessions, Bill Clinton and his wife, and other people, because their names were mentioned frequently. But the one name that was mentioned more than anybody else's was Donald's name. And yet, nothing. And the strange part is, here's the strange part. Donald, and again, I forget his last name. That, or I refuse to say it. Donald has a past of incredible sexism, was even found guilty in civil court twice on the same matter. Without question, this guy is, remember that Entertainment Tonight, was it? Interview that goes all the way back before Trump was even president the first time, much less the seventh. Remember, he said in that little entertainment van there to the entertainment host there, Billy, whatever his name is, he said, I can touch any woman I want, and they won't stop me because I'm Donald, and I can do anything I want. I can have anybody want. I can. It of course wasn't in public. It was recorded, of him saying, "We know who you are, Don." And his name mentioned more than any other name. Pictures of him with the Epstein guys, but that doesn't mean that he did anything really wrong. But it sure brings up some big questions. Well, we don't really care because he's running the country so well, both financially and internationally. No. So, anyway, these are just observations that I'm making. That's all I'm doing. I don't have any kids in college. If I did, I'd be changing my underwear every 10 minutes because the prices have skyrocketed. That means gone up. A lot. A lot. And then if the kid actually stays on campus and lives there, holy crap, man. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Coming out of college, then you want to find a good job? That's going to be reduced within the near future by this AI stuff. Not as many jobs for actual humans. We know that. That's a fact. Then you want to have a place to live. Love to have a house someday, but I can't even afford rent. I'm starting out. I'm getting low paid because I'm starting out. I can't get promoted on the first day of my job. I have to work there for a long time before I can make more money. So these kids, these college kids coming out of college, they have to live with 7 other people just to afford the 1-bedroom apartment. This is like poverty level with a lot of money involved. Like, you're in poverty if you're making a lot of money still. It's unbelievable. I don't know. Now, on the flip side of that, and thank you for letting me do my complaining, let's call it. I think we're all in the same boat. And as I say all the time, that boat is the Titanic. The difference is on the Titanic, they didn't know that the iceberg was there. On our Titanic, we can see the iceberg and we're still sailing for it at high speed. That's the difference. Economically, I have the answer. Hello, knock on wood, I have the answer. And it's quite plain and simple. If I owned a large company, or a supermarket, or anything like that, what I would do right now, is lower my prices and make sure everybody knows my business has lowered their prices because we want people to start affording things again, and we feel for you, and we know what you're going through because we're going through it too. So we are lowering prices. And it's not a gimmick. I'm not going to charge you like on the back end for labor or transportation or anything like that, even though I should, but I'm not going to. I'm actually lowering the prices. You actually will pay less for the same product. You actually will, especially the food. You can get them right there with the food right away. Well, how can a business afford to do that? And the answer is because I took economic classes way back when I was in school. I mean way back. The answer is volume. Volume. V-O-L-ume. And it means that if you lower your prices but you sell like a crap load more, like 20 times more, you're going to make more money. You're actually going to make more money. You're going to have more profit. You're going to win, and the public's going to win. And it's based on lowering prices, but selling higher volume as a result. But you have to market it. You have to make sure everybody knows it, but it doesn't take much to market it because that is the scuttlebutt. That's the gossip that will filter throughout the world. Hey, you know this company? They lowered all their prices. Yeah. It's much lower. Everybody, come on, let's buy it. I don't think you have to be an Einstein to figure this stuff out. I don't think you have to be an Einstein or some kind of incredibly intelligent person to see that somebody and a lot of rich people are making a lot of money right now because of this presidential setup here. You don't think that this Donald guy is making a fortune as president? You don't think so? The guy that actually sells things with his name on it in order to make money? Are you kidding me? Here's a math equation that I think everybody should know by now, but they don't. It's 2 plus 2 equals 4. Ron, how did you know that? Did you have some help on that? It's obvious. 2 plus 2 equals 4. But the American people, for some reason in this country, have been running on 2 plus 2 equals 1. I don't understand how we can't see the math right in front of us. Are there like government conspiracies going on? Sure. Government's going to stop you from knowing what you should know because if you knew it, you'd be really unhappy. You think you're unhappy now. You'd be really unhappy because you were taken. You were tricked. You were deceived. You were manipulated. That can piss people off to some extent. And when you start draining their savings and their paycheck, here's a situation with seniors with their retirement situation. Social Security. We call that Social Security. Okay, your Social Security check earlier in the year was, they went up, but in it, they take out the medical deductions, and that was more. So basically, your Social Security check, the number that's printed on it that you can actually cash, did not go up. And in some cases, actually went down. Because the price of health care went up. The price of insurance went up. The larger the company, and there are plenty of those, they will make a lot of money off of this. Let's talk about Russia for a second. Why? Why are you doing that? I'll tell you why. They're making a ton of money on selling their oil. Why? Because the oil ain't coming out of that strait down there. So Russia's doing wonderfully. Just like Donald's friends and himself are doing wonderfully financially. That little stock market example that I gave you earlier should open your eyes just a bit. That's my belief. You don't have to believe me. That's just what I think. And that's all. So what is my purpose to discussing this today? It's just don't take things for face value anymore. Don't take things for face value. Look behind the curtain. You'll be surprised what you see sometimes. Okay. I have a guest coming up momentarily. My guest has, I don't know what he's done. What has he done? Oh, he did? Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. We'll talk to our guest right after this, but first, let's take this short commercial break.
Hello, this is Father Mike Slannery of the Our Lady of the Sacred Spatula Church here in town, and I wanted to publicly apologise for the church's recent presentation of the one-man musical review, Jesus, Live and Off the Cross. Our rectory assistant, Marjorie Griffin, who is usually very sharp about these kinds of things, and who was responsible for events like our recent excellent visitation and speech by the Pope's brother's friend's dentist niece, admits that she did not do nearly enough research on the show, and like me, was expecting a programme more along the respectful lines of Godspell or Jesus Christ Superstar. If you were in the audience that evening, you know that this was not the case. We did not know, for example, how racy the song There Is Something About Mary would be, and were just as shocked as many of you at the way it provided unnecessary and probably historically inaccurate details about our Lord and Saviour's relationship with Mary Magdalene. I double-checked, and as I suspected, the words "hitting it from the back" never appear in the Bible. Had I thought to look at the song list before the show, I might have suggested the actor take out the rap number called Loaves and Fishes, Bitches, and the crucifixion number titled Let Me Get My Hands on You, Pontius Pilate. Well, the less said about that, the better. We are still cleaning the stage. Full refunds for anyone who wants one are available at the rectory office of the Our Lady of the Sacred Spatula Church, 27 Eucharist Way, which is open weekdays from 9 to 4, but not between 1 and 1:30 when Marjorie takes lunch. And please remember the teachings of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ and forgive us.
Addam Ledamyen joins us now. He's an author and so much more. Addam, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You got an interesting book out that is a coming of age, but in a different kind of coming of age way, isn't it?
Yeah. So the Legend of Leanna Page is, it's this philosophically grounded fantasy novel that follows this servant girl as she comes of age, but it's so much about the ensemble around her and
yes.
the world kind of coming of age with her.
Well, yeah, the world is interesting these days, and I guess you can make parallels all throughout the book, which is
Yeah.
interesting. It's not only people coming of age in the book, but the world coming of age to the people, which is interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You, interestingly enough, were not designed by birth to be an author. You've had, that's a strange way of putting it. I apologize. But you're an actor and quite a successful one. And tell me about your career before your writing.
Yeah, so as you said, I started off as an actor. That was my main thing all through all growing up. I was, in all the
Yes.
summer camps and whatnot. Um, and and then the first turn I took was in 2016. I was doing that, like figuring out what college I was going to go to thing, and at the same time, the world, especially the United States, was going through some stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to leave theater behind and go for politics instead.
Uh-huh.
And I went for a degree in political science. Um, I quickly figured out that that wasn't the right path for me, but what that led to was me realizing that I needed to tell my own stories, and in addition to performing other people's, there were things I needed to say, and that started me off on this journey of writing stories together with a political passion.
And basically, you were a playwright, which I guess was the introduction into writing for the public, and again to express yourself in that way. And how did playwriting get to storytelling book form?
Yeah, so as you said, I started as a playwright, and I still very much consider myself a playwright, um, but I took a turn towards novels because of the Legend of Leanna Page. This idea came to me um, in a very particular way, as though it were this old legend. Like I had this moment where I really like almost remembered it. Like there was a moment I wasn't sure whether I'd made it up or remembered it, um, and when I realized I needed to write it, my first thought was that it was the kind of thing that felt like it needed this original text that later could be adapted into a play or whatever else. But it needed a novel to start it off, and so I kind of almost begrudgingly went, oh shoot, I have to learn how to write a novel now so that I could write this particular story.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me is that the world is so, oh, what's the term? Screwed up. That the only way to get through to people is through the back door. How to, is create a situation, a mystical thing, and then have them getting involved in that, and then realize, oh, wait, that transposes to other things. So it's an indirect kind of message, but sometimes you need that.
That's exactly right. And I think there's so much human psychological history to back that up, just given how many religions teach in parables or even fairy tales, how that's always the thing that, we teach children not to talk to wolves in the woods through the story of Little Red Riding Hood and whatever else.
Right.
And exactly as you said, um, it's so easy for people to jump to assumptions that they have if you try to talk about a particular topic directly.
Yes.
And so if you get through that fictional back door, you can kind of, with even just a little bit of a veil, you can talk about something in a way that they might be able to hear it.
Yeah, and then there's the popularity of these mystical stories as well. That's very popular. So that's also a very interesting vehicle as well. Tell me about the story itself.
Sure. So the Legend of Leanna Page is set in this mythic place called the World Within the Woods, and it follows this servant girl named Leanna Page who has these mystical powers that make her a threat to the royals that she serves, and ultimately to the status quo of their whole world. She's the daughter of two servants from opposite kingdoms, and then through additional means, she becomes very closely connected to this nation of fairies that surrounds the two other nations. And in that way, she's so connected to all of the peoples of her world that when she kind of emerges, it's very hard for her to reckon with the idea that other people don't see everyone as connected as she knows them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so she grows up and starts saying what she feels out loud, and in that way getting into more and more danger, and realizing that she has to step outside of her societally defined place in order to work to change the world and save the people that she loves.
Wow. Okay. This sounds like it's an all ages kind of story, really. I know it's coming of age, but kind of a lesson for every age.
Yeah, the coming of age title is definitely one of those things that, it's kind of helpful to put labels on things for marketing purposes, but I certainly, I've always wanted it to be something that anyone and everyone could appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, my fantasy is living in a world that is happy, united, and accepting of everybody and respecting of everybody, and then things work out. But apparently, kind of going a different way. So this is nice. I felt very comfortable getting involved with this story. I thought that was, I wouldn't say an escape as much as it is an experience.
Yeah, thank you. That's certainly a goal.
Yeah, cool. What's next? Are we looking to turn this into an actual musical? I can see this on stage, to be honest with you.
I would certainly love to see this be on stage, be on screen, be any number of things. In particular, I would love to see it grow into its own sort of mythology. That it's written through the perspective of this narrator, Cedar Flight, and at the very beginning, Cedar invites the reader to literally take this as the original text and go on to, if it's written in archaic language, and so they say, if the language doesn't quite suit you, but the story does, tell it in a new way.
Yeah.
And I really would love people to do that, and to see it become its own thing would be so magical. And as also the artistic director of For Alenvia Publications, who this is the debut work of, we're excited to start publishing new stories, either within this mythology or not, and pursue the mission of the book and the mission of our organization through that.
Yeah, you use LGBTQ characters in this, and that's for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, the original reason was simply that, just to be an ally. But through the process of writing the book, which took about 4 or 5 years, I started learning that I myself was queer in a number of different ways. And so from the initial intention of ally, it started becoming, putting my own experiences into it from the queer perspective. And in particular, what I enjoyed, as I mentioned, it's written in this kind of archaic style because I wanted it to sound like that old original text of some old ancient legend. And because of that, using kind of a style from the 16th century, in the world of the book, there aren't any of the labels that we use today to describe anyone in the LGBTQ, etc. community. And so it's that same idea you're talking about of kind of taking putting that veil over something and just saying, like, okay, if we don't necessarily call this what we're used to calling it, and we just kind of really look at what it is, can we get people who would otherwise turn away from it to look at it for a little bit longer and maybe think of it a different way?
Well, the idea is acceptance. I mean, it's just there's political acceptance, there's racial acceptance, there's cultural. I mean, it's across the board. So it was effective. How do we hook up with the story?
Yeah, so the host is the publisher. So if you go to foralenvia.org, FORELENVIA.org. That is where you can connect with me through that organization, as well as look at everywhere you can buy the book. It's on anywhere online you could buy it. Or if you walk into an independent bookstore, they'll be able to order it for you.
Yep.
That website is going to be the main place to meet up with us and connect.
Yeah. Now you do realize that what you've done is you've stepped into a I wouldn't say poo, but you have stepped into an area where now you have to write this kind of thing all the time. It sounds like a series. It's probably a series in your head. Now you're going to have to be dedicated to expanding it. You realize that's what's going to happen.
I do, and I'm okay with that. There is actually already a volume 2 written. We're in the process of editing it now, and so hopefully that'll come out soon. We are hoping to publish some other people's work first, so we have a call for submissions out, and so that's another reason if people are interested to connect with us on if they're interested in submitting their work, please go to forelenvia.org and connect with us in that way there. We're hoping to get some other things out there in addition, and then the Legend of Leanna Page Volume 2 will be following that. Excellent.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, one more time, spell the website connection.
Absolutely. forelenvia.org, FORELENVIA.org.
Perfect. Adam, it's a pleasure speaking to you. All right. Thank you to my guest, and thank you to you. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode. How does he do it? I don't know. So please join me then. But until that time arrives, I wish you peace.